Okay, start recording. Collab already happened. We're on the Korea server, so the collab happens about like 45-ish minutes earlier than on the other servers. We're gonna be checking all units. First of all, I want to be seeing Frodo. Frodo, your passive. Do you have a cooldown? Does not seem to have a cooldown on the passive. Yo, that's actually really good. That makes Frodo really fucking viable. I'm gonna be making some PvE teams with this, 100%. 100% sure I'm gonna be making some PvE teams with this. He's 100% going to be meta for R5. He's 100% going to be meta for Temple of Chaos. Because this is also a 2-turn attack buff. So Temple of Chaos, you could make him half as fast as the other units. And still have permanent uptime in that. Frodo gonna be meta in RTA? I don't think that part though. He is 105 base though. That's actually not bad. Like Loki, not bad. Also he has global lead of attack. Also not bad at all. Let's move on to some extra cool characters. So all of the Gandalfs seem to be having a 100 base stats. Where is a speed lead? Attack lead over there. Defense lead over there. Resistance lead over there. HP lead over there. And crit rate lead over there. So no one has the speed lead. Okay. Aragons, what kind of leads? Guild leads. Okay, do we have some speed lead on guilds? We do have resistance lead. We do have accuracy lead. We do have defense lead. And we do have HP lead. Once again, no one on that. Wait, Wind Gandalf was 115 base. Yep, okay. So this is a base awakener. Ew! This is the most nasty. I will go into the skills in just a second, but this is wow, this thing is really fucking nasty then. I don't like this whole kit with like everything, but we'll go into the kits in a second later. Let's look at Legolas's. We have a light Legolas. Legolas's arena lead. Crit rate arena over here. Resistance arena. Attack arena. Accuracy arena. And HP arena. So they have been very scared with giving anyone speed lead. So no one is having a speed lead as of yet. All of these are 104 bases. Okay. Let's look at the Golem real quick. So all of them could have a base speed awakening or a base speed lead at some point with a balance patch. Okay, Golems don't have any lead, it seems. And they're 105 bases. Okay, well, let's just go through all of the units, and I think I'm just gonna check it from here. First of all, we have the skill 1, which is shield on everything all the time. Animation, kind of fire. Flame of Anchor, attack the enemy 2 times. Each hit decrease their attack speed for 2 turns, and then increase their glancing it for 2 turns. Sure thing. Is good bit of multi-hits because of that, yeah. Then we have remove all harmful effects, give attack buff 3 times enemy proportional to your max HP, and then also remove beneficial effects. That is pretty darn strong though. That is definitely pretty strong as well. It is 100 base speed for strip, which is a little bit on the slow side. We do make this a 4-turn cooldown. This goes up to 70% and is also a 3-turn cooldown. And this one is actually improving the shield even more. Okay, nasty. Water one. Water one is pretty interesting as well because this one actually has a passive. And that is increase your attack bar by 20% whenever an ally. So I guess excluding yourself, but it could be including yourself as well. I'm not 100% sure. Attack by a shield. In addition, removes 1 harmful effect on an ally with a shield whenever you gain a turn. I am not sure if this shit would work with shield runes. If this works with shield runes, it could be pretty nasty as... Well, yeah, then there could be a lot of nasty mechanics with this. Wait, reflect damage? Oh. Skill 2. I did not even notice that. I thought it was just a shield, but it's shield and reflect. Wait, so you can stack this reflect on top of Angela's reflect, most likely? That is pretty nasty. That is seemingly pretty nasty. So yeah, if you stack that with an Pudding or Alexandra and that kind of shit, that's nasty. Well, then this one, I think all of the turn 2 players are really looking for a Wind Gandalf. It is also 115 fucking base for whatever fucking reason. It does have a resistance lead as well, which is selectable. It's better than most things in general. But this one does have that reflect as well with the shield. But this is the nasty part. Allies with shield gain immunity against attack bar decreasing effect. Yeah. So you mess up the Moor, you mess up the Venton, you mess up so many things. You put a ragdoll next to it, you're gonna get so many turns. Chunk punks are messed up. Even like Gojos are messed up. That is, yeah, this thing seems very nasty, especially with the 115 base. It's very, very nasty. If you pair both of these with like Angelas, Josephines, Alexandras, Ragdolls, nasty. What if you strip? Well, if you strip, you can then still apply things. The only big question for both of them on the passive is, does this work with shield runes? If it works with shield runes, it is pretty darn nasty to put shield runes on these units. Then we have light, which is kind of like a, well, it has the same S2 as the other two. But then the S3 is we have remove harmful effects on all allies, increase their attack by 30. In addition, when you take fatal damage, offset the damage once during battle and activate the whatever skill. It is maintained until the end of battle. And then we have remove all harmful effects, increase their bar, but we also revive everything. So if he is last to be alive, he's gonna give bar plus revive, which is pretty nasty as well as a unit. So let's actually look at a Yo animation. But yeah, okay, he starts right away with a revive. Yeah, I can see this being pretty darn strong. Because you can use this regardless, but if you want to use it for a revive, cooldown gets longer though, that is true, but could be nasty, could be nasty. Is it really good though? I'm not too sure. Then we have the Dark One. Dark One feels pretty odd because Dark One is, once again, same as one, but being attack type. He has a good bit of HP, that is actually true, but he's gonna give shields while being an attacker. Yeah. Skill 2 is at least the damage skill, and then skill 3 is attacks the enemy with an attack that ignores death resistance effects, and then stun them. But if you ignore death resistance effects, you want them to die, not to have them stunned. So that's kind of one of those interactions where you're like, yeah, what's the point? You just want shit to die. You don't want shit to be stunned. Like, sure, ignoring death resistance is fun and all, but... Loki, you took the homework of a dark monkey. Like, not gonna lie. Looks cool, but you took the homework of a dark monkey, though. That's kind of true. While your skills on cooldown, it ignores death resistance effects. Yeah, okay. So it also works, the death resistance part works for you S1 and S2 if you have this one on cooldown. And you get more chance to stun. So you could make it a decent stunner. Issue is, if this was a multi-hit, you could kind of stack additional damage artifacts on him. Which... I don't know. Still, yeah, it's kind of weird. Any speed leads? No speed leads at all. There are potential for buffs for speed leads. So then moving on to the Legolases. The Legolas is the arena lead, so any of them, Wind Legolas could get a 28 speed lead, or the Light Legolas could get 28 speed lead, because those two elements are still missing speed leads. And those are also attack lead and crit rate lead, who cares? So first of all, we do have multi-hits on the S2. We can get more hits on that, which is kind of busted than RNG, I guess. And then we have attack power gain, speed buff gain, yep. Then we have, in this case, a passive. Absorbs the attack bar by 15% with a 40 chance, steal 1 buff, okay. And then whenever you attack an enemy, increase the harmful effect rate per beneficial effects. Okay. Could see this do a good bit of damage. Wait, is this... Wait. Are they trying to make an SF unit? It is strip plus bar steal plus more damage on harmful effects. Are they trying to make this thing into a SF fighter? As in Steel Fortress? Only issue is it's kind of wasted to have an S2 on him. But I want to see this with more multi-hits. Yeah, I think that it's just more arrows flying at the same time. It's kind of hard to see in this because you don't see damage animation. Increase your arm for effect. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure about this one. Yep, okay, that's where you could just... They're all fly in one single time. It's like not that he starts like pewing like multiple times. Would be cool. That's what you see in like some other games where they just start pewing a few times on that. This one is the Net 4. This one does have different S2, which is decrease the attack bar, okay, and then this one is the increase your damage to bar absorption, or other way around, more damage, more bar absorption. Okay, I guess this is like the 3-star is pretty much This animation looks dope. I've seen this animation in the video already. It looks really dope, but this is just like whenever you get this one, it's scale up for the others. Like that's pretty much just the only thing to it. Animation though, I do like the Legoloses for animation, not gonna lie. It's pretty agile on that shit. Then we have this one. This one was already seen on the video as well. Very high attack, very low HP, very low defense. This is the one with the same S2. Oh no, wait, same S2 as the fire. So it's gonna get attack buff, speed buff. And then we're gonna get the faster your speed, the greater the damage becomes. So he's actually speed scaling. I think he's the only one speed scaling. And then we have decrease bar and stunts and that kind of good stuff. Could be a something. Could be a something. Water has the best animations. Yeah, Water is the 4-star with the best animations, which is kind of like, was that necessary? But yeah, this one, depending how much scaling he has, we don't know the scaling just yet. That will be on these sites such as Swar Farm and stuff later. It might be good, but I think the Legolas is really make or break by the scaling that they do have. Light Legolas is also a little bit weird, because every time that you get critted or something of your allies get critted, I wonder if it works with multi-hits as well. Let's say a Nephthys S2 that is on 100 crit rate instantly stack you all the way to like 12 stacks. I'm not sure. Could be, cannot really test that over here. But then we have the driving shot, and then we just get a lot of attack and defense in here. Maybe... Oh, including yourself. Wait, is that then your own crit? Stroke? Maybe, yeah. Wait, am I doing this wrong? Okay, he does get the passive from that. Wait. Whenever an ally, including yourself, attacks the enemy. Oh, yep, okay. No, I'm bad. I'm bad. So it's where your team crits. Okay. Interesting thing is, why do I only see... Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense, that makes sense. So, that could be pretty decent. So if you take first turn on an AoE crit, let's say you have a Lauren move all the way first with crit rate, or a Maxi move first with crit rate, you have him immediately full stacked. That is not too bad. That is not too bad. Yeah, I could see this working. It's not too bad, it's not too bad. S1 is up to 5 hits, but you don't really see the animation on that. And then we have this thing. Sorry if I read things wrong. I'm having too much screens on and also reading chat and all of that kind of stuff at the same time. So you have the same S2, and then we have a S3, which is you go into a state, and while being in that state, you're kind of like a Elven Ranger on Dark, where you start countering things, is what it seems. That is not that interesting, I think. Like, I'm not too sure what you really want to achieve with this. Because also, if you just do this, then... And now we do it on both. And then we do it again. And it does absolutely nothing. It's Carcano, but Carcano actually does something on his next turn. This thing feels kind of weird. I don't know. Feels pretty bad. Moving on to the next one, which is Aragon's. Starting off with fire. Fire Aragon. Branding goes up to 70. This one is the remove all harmful effects on allies and defend the target for 3 turns. Receives half damage, blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much just explaining that he's hugging them, kind of. Right? Yeah. And then skill 3 is when countered, deal increased damage and recover your own HP or allies' HP? Of all allies. Ooh. Okay. Kind of feels Chandra-ish, but a little bit better because he gives healing. But I think he's more of a siege unit in general. I feel like his S1 looks very lackluster. Holy shit. This is the most lame, like, I don't know. Give me a crit animation on this. I want to see this from the front. Yeah, that looks not powerful at all. I don't know. Kind of siege. This one might be more interesting, though. The S2 is the Band of Blades, which is increase attack power of the ally with the highest attack and team up with them. While attacking, the attack twice. Defense decrease for 2 turns. Only thing is, it doesn't go up in rate. I'm surprised that it doesn't go up in defense landing chance rate kind of thing. I kind of expected that. But it is a double hit of a double 50, which is not that bad. And then we have decrease all cooldowns of the allies by 1 turn, grant immunity, and create a shield of your max HP. That's kind of like a Wusa Light, where you give less immunity, less shield turns, but that is pretty darn strong. Yeah, I think in general, all of these units, like there's way more units right now with potential than in other collabs, I would say. Wait, it's that's kind of bad. His second animation is super slow. Because his second animation is so slow, the second death break is most likely to land after your ally team up already happened. So it's not like Siren where you get a shit ton of death breaks in before your ally lands in most cases. That's a little bit worse though. But the S3 is pretty darn strong. Then we have this one, which is a net 4, which in most cases we're not really going to use. It also have the Band of Blades. Goes on the threat stage while attacking the enemy with a single target, 2 skills. Or yep, then attacks all enemies, deal proportion to your max HP. Okay, most of the time, not really working for 4 stars being that interesting. Why do the 4 stars have better animations than the 5 stars, low-key? Then we have the light one. Light one has the increase your attack bar by 10% whenever an ally is attacked. Increase your bar by 50% when an ally fails on the inability effect. And then we also have the defense skill in that as well. Also 4 stars, so I would say for the light and darks, they kind of feel a little bit worse. I think the normal elementals are the one that feels strong. But then we have the dark one, which is the one that a lot of people are seeking for, which has the Band of Blades, which we have seen already. But then also Oath Breaker, which is a 3 times hit to increase cooldown by 1 turn. And then also slow, and then damage proportion to your max HP as well. So that is definitely something that's very strong, and it is multiple increases of cooldown. So plus it's attack bar reset. I missed that part, right? Yep. Attacks the enemy to reset the bar. Yeah, so reset bar is 1-time hit, and then 3 of these. That is pretty nasty. Plus, he has 13k HP. That is a something right there. On a 102 base, that is a something right there. It really does depend like how much scaling he does have in all of this. It could be very low on the scaling, but that is definitely the bar is single target. Is the bar single target? Yeah, that's. I think you're right. No, wait. Actually, you're right. I thought that the bar was also AoE. Makes him a little bit less, but still really good. Yeah, so the decreased bar is just located on 1 unit, but you still have decreased speed on everything, which is kind of nice. Lead on HP for guild, it's not the worst. The increase is 3 times AoE. That is the case, yeah. So that's for all of these units. Then we go into a Golems. Little Golem. Doesn't have any lead, so could always be given a lead at any given time on a balance patch. We have stun for, what is that? 60% chance on the S1. If the target is stunned after an attack, targets absorb its attack bar by 50. Okay. Grants immunity on yourself if your HP is at 100% at the end of the turn, otherwise recover by 20. I'm not really sure if these things are actually going to be used that much. Chomp. And chomp. Yeah, I guess. I'm not really sure if any of the golems are really going to be used as much. What a golem has a fish. Schmiegel's gift. Ooh, let's give vampire to yourself. Okay. Increase the attack power of an ally by 50%. Also grant vampire. Wait, this is for an ally. Oh, he gives an ally a fish. That's weird. And then we also have the cover, which is the grant stealth, which is a new mechanic in game. On stealth stage, you cannot be targeted. You deal increased damage. Probably not really going to be used. Schmiegel give you fish! This looks so weird, bud. This looks so weird, not gonna lie. Okay, stealth mechanic, not bad. And you fill up your attack bar right away. Okay, so definitely a unit you don't want to be putting on fire, because then you would remove your own stealth right away. Wait, if something is already in stealth, you cannot go in stealth as well. So there's only one stealth available. Interesting. I'm also curious if this stealth is a blue buff or a purple buff, because if it's a purple buff, such as Berserk or Knowledge or a bunch of those kind of things, then Shizuka cannot steal it. Stealth runes could be a thing, Okay, this one has the stealth as well, and then S3 is attack the enemy to steal all the beneficial effects. If the steal is successful, Clover goes off cooldown. Okay. I'm not too sure what I feel about these units. Yeah, this one, now I cannot activate this S2, so... Then we have the light one. Light one is same. He went for the nasty strike. But skill 3 is if the thing is not stunned, then okay. So this one is if you can stun it, you try to stun it, and then you hit again. If you did not stun it, you probably want to strip it because there's an immunity there. It's kind of the thing that he has. Arena ring event's gonna be savage, say? How come? Did not really fully read the events just yet. At least not that in-depth. I did kind of read it, but not that in-depth. So we also have, this is a fish to self. Attack buff, additional turn. Yeah, this one is really weird. Because I don't really get this one. So if you put S2 on yourself, you get an additional turn. But then your stealth is shorter. But if you give yourself attack buff and an additional turn, your attack buff is shorter. So one of your two skills is going to be shorter. Which is kind of weird, right? Also, this fill ups your bar. This is not a 100% attack bar increase, or this is not like an extra turn. It's just filling up your bar. So this is a 100 attack bar increase. This one looks really weird. So far, which ones seem strong to be pulling for? To be honest, all golems, kind of mid. Not a big fan of neither of the golems. If we go to Aragons, I definitely do think that Water Aragon is seemingly really strong. It's kind of like a Wusa that doesn't heal, but gives more attack buff and then team-ups and that kind of good stuff. So I think that one definitely has potential. Fire one, not as much. Dark one, of course. Dark one is probably best to pull from the whole collab. If we go to Legolas's, this one might be a potential for a Steel Fortress clear, but I'm not really too sure about it, because he does have the extra turn in this skill. I'm also not sure if he has Perfect AI to always use the attack buff kind of skill, which is kind of a weird thing. But he does have a strip bar absorb kind of damage on whatever. But it's also a really big if. How much multiplier damage do you have? And I think the whole Legolas family is pretty hard on make or break for do you have good multipliers or not. This Legolas is the only speed scaler. So I think that this one for speed scaler, if he does have good damage, plus pushback plus stun, it could be pretty strong. It could definitely be pretty strong. Legolas on light, sorry that I did misread this earlier, but he might be pretty strong as well as a bruiser. But he's kind of a bruiser in an AoE cleave. Or you put him next to a crit rate more. That's already fine. Like, if you put him next to a crit rate more would full stack his skill right away. Or like a crit rate Gojo or a crit rate whatever. But you want to use some AoE multi-hitter to full stack this guy. And then he could be pretty strong in a fight later on. Water Monkey would also do a good job. Yeah. So I think that he might be pretty solid as well. But once again, he's pretty dependent on how good are his multipliers on S1 and S2. Does have a crit awakening. I do assume if we're ever going to get a balance patch for speed awakenings, There is no speed lead on 28 on Arena yet for Wind and for Light. So either of the two could get the 28 speed lead, and that would also make them a lot better. Dark one feels really weird. I think this unit straight up ass. I have no clue what you want to do with this thing, to be honest. Then we have the Gandalfs. Gandalf Fire is, I think, a pretty solid strip. Pretty solid multi-hitter as well. But he's having the issue of the base stat. If he had the 115 base stat that was on the Gandalf, it would have been really good, but he doesn't. So for that reason, I'm not too sure. Also, they have leads that are all kind of non-existing as well. They could be changing that to the 24 speed lead on any of them and make another global 24 speed lead, but not really sure if they will do that. But yeah, Gandalf Water or a Gandalf Fire could be used, but I'm not too sure. Then we have Water. Water seems pretty interesting for increasing the attack bar whenever anything with a shield is hit. I think there's a lot of interactions with a lot of shield units that could be really nasty with this for turn 2 players. And then we're talking about like Angelas, we're talking Josephines, we're talking all of that kind of annoying shit. Plus he also has a Reflect. Then we also have another shield on this skill, which is a lot of shields. Gandalf Wind, same thing once again, cannot be pushed back. So if you're playing against a heavy pushback team, such as like Vantan, Chunk Punks, even more kind of pushbacks and those kind of things, this dude will really mess that up real badly. And then we also have this skill for the barrier and for the Staff of Shield. So this is going to be a shit ton of shields. Plus glances. This one does not have any healing. This one does have a little bit of healing like in this one. But this might actually kind of rock up still. So these two might be pretty annoying to the point that I think everyone's going to run a Bolvric at some point. I don't know. Light one is somewhat interesting. Does have the shields as well. But the skill 3, it feels like a Nigong, but then Nigong where the S3 is a passive kind of style. Does that make it necessarily really good? I don't think so, to be honest. Because he lacks having healing capacity. So, I don't know. Light Gandalf doesn't feel that strong to me. Dark Gandalf feels a little bit weird for he has ignored death resistance. But he doesn't, it really depends like how much damage is this gonna do. Because also his skill 1 is kind of weird for creating shields. Doesn't make too much sense. So for him, it really depends like what his multiplier is going to do. So that's pretty much that for all of those units. Let me know in the comments what unit you like.